Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? It's your boy Soto here. You know what it is. Raiders versus the world, talking about the team that the world loves to hate, your Las Vegas Raiders. All right. I am never going to stand in someone's way to make money. Ever. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done to me in the past. I'm not going to say anything bad about you. I'm just going to move on and do my own thing. Right. But Maxx Crosby had me a little nervous for a second. Okay. I understand negotiations. I understand gamesmanship and this and that. But Maxx Crosby was talking a little sideways 2 years in a row, two off seasons in a row about the Raiders and what was going to happen. I get it. He didn't have any more guaranteed money left on his deal. Maxx Crosby was very out front in saying that. And this all was for naught. I believe it was just all a negotiation ploy to get Maxx Crosby a new deal. But before we get into that, everyone, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. It's a great way to support this channel. It really does help out a lot. It's absolutely free to subscribe, and it's the bare minimum you can do to help this channel besides doing absolutely nothing and just watching the video, which, of course, I do appreciate as well. All right, let's get to Maxx Crosby. So like I was saying, man, Maxx Crosby had me a little bit jumpy for a second here. I'm like, man, what's this guy doing? Like, this guy was a Raider, and he's talking about being a Raider, and he wants to be a Raider. Then he's talking about what I'm going to talk about going forward, and I want to win and all this other stuff. And like, yeah, I get that. I would want to win too, but man, that's 2 years in a row that he was talking about kind of leaving the door open to go somewhere else. And honestly, like I was saying before, I really do think this was all a negotiation ploy to really get the two sides together and focused on a goal. It all worked out, and thank God it worked out how it did and when it did. If it was like a week later, it would have cost us like $10 million more dollars per season to lock Maxx up, because just a couple days after Maxx signed that big extension to make him the highest paid non-quarterback in the league, Myles Garrett goes and just tops it by like $10 million per year, which is fine, man. Go ahead and get your money, Myles Garrett. That's the Browns' issue to deal with that cap space. I like Maxx where he is right there. I think it's just right. And it's just right for a leader on our team, a leader on our defense, and a leader as far as an example of how you should go out there and go about your business every single day. He sat down with Eddie Pascal with the Raiders for an interview, and let's take a listen to it, and we'll talk about it later.
And today is one of the good days. Sitting here in front of the program, Maxx Crosby with a new deal to stay in Las Vegas. All right, brother, before we go into the nitty gritty of all this, give me the sitting here, just got down from the room feeling, what are we feeling in this moment?
It's just, honestly, it's such a big blessing, man. There's so much that's gone into it. I think everybody knows how I feel about the silver and black and my commitment to being the best in the world at what I do and being the best leader and winning. That's truly all that matters. And taking a lot of time to self-reflect, how I can improve on and off the field and be the best version of myself. And I want to be here. You know what I mean? I want to win here. I look at guys like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, some of the greatest ever do it in one place, and Tom Brady's another one that did it at the same place for most of their career. You know what I mean? So those guys, seeing what they did with their career was a big inspiration for me. And there's always going to be tough times, and there's been a lot of adversity since I've been here. But I feel like God put me in this position to help be a part of that, a big part of that change. And Pete Carroll, John Spytek, new ownership, Mark Davis, obviously. The conversations I've had have been incredible, and I'm comfortable. I'm happy. That's all that matters. So I'm excited.
So okay, let's just go back a little bit before we look forward. And the end of last year, I mean, really last year in general, such a weird year in so many ways, right?
Yeah.
But the first time that you've ever missed games, the first times you ever have really been on the sidelines and kind of in that spectator position since you got to the team back in Oakland, when you finished the year up last year, where were you at kind of mentally, and how hard was it for you to kind of be not here doing your thing on a Sunday with the guys?
It was weird. I hated it. It's just different. I've never experienced that in my life, in my career, and it's two fluky injuries that you get rolled up on and you can't avoid. So unfortunately that happened, but I feel like everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? It gave me an opportunity to really see things from a different lens and take some time to be with my daughter and be with my family. And it was probably the best thing that could have happened for me. You know what I mean? Mentally, I'm in an incredible place. I'm happy, inspired, rejuvenated, re-energized. I'm ready to be at my absolute best. I'll just put it that way. So I'm fired up, man.
We talk about now looking forward. The ink is dry. There's nothing to worry about. No questions that need to be asked anymore. But so in terms of, I know you guys answered it a little bit, but like when you kind of like zoom out, big picture, not to get like too corny cliche, but like why was it important for you to stay here?
I think legacy is a big part of it. You know what I mean? When I look at the end of my career, whenever that day is, I want to look back and be one of those guys that are remembered as one of the greatest to ever do it, not only just here, but in general. And that's a big part of it. I'm loyal. I'm loyal to the core. And that's the way I look at my, how I want my football life to be recognized as not only one of the greatest players to do it, but one of the greatest Raiders. And being in the same spot and winning here is going to mean a lot more. And that's the way I look at it. So I think we're making we have the right people in the right positions. We got a lot of work to do, but at the end of the day, I was extremely, I was comfortable with the direction of where we're going after having a lot of conversation with the guys upstairs. So extremely excited. So yeah, I'm fired up, man.
You talk about some of those new those new faces, Pete, Spytek in here doing their thing now.
Yeah.
I know still so early kind of in the relationship for you with those guys, but just your early impressions of everything that they've brought to the table, and obviously getting this deal done appears to be a priority for them.
Yeah, no doubt. It's something that got, the conversation started right away, basically. And, as a credit, I give them a lot of credit, you know what I mean? And it's humbling, to say the least. You know what I mean? I put so much into this. That. I mean, everybody knows the amount of work I do on a daily basis. And honestly, bro, it's just like it makes you sit back and just really put things into perspective. It's crazy, bro. I've had a long journey, and I'm 27 years old, and like I could truly say like my family's family is set for life. You know what I mean? And that's one of the coolest things on the planet. But the money part is one thing. The everyday happiness, the everyday motivation, the everyday grind is something you want to look forward to. And I know this is where I want to be. And I'm fired up to continue that, man. I'm just ready to win.
We talked about a lot of those new faces, but I did want to ask you about some of the I wouldn't say old faces, but familiar faces that are still here. Robbie Leonard is coming back.
Yeah.
Pat Graham's still here. I mean, how big does their presence here, you're kind of familiar to what their expectations are in the system, play into your decision to say, hey, like, I want to be here. I know I can be successful here. Like, there is that level of comfort in a year where there's going to be a lot of new.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be new. I'm used to that. I've had a ton of different coaches. But yeah, I think it's a plus, and it's an added benefit. My relationship with Pat is incredible. Robbie, the same. And they some of the hardest working people I know. You know what I mean? Everybody's all in on the same thing. There's a reason why Pete came and wanted to keep those guys, because they're, A+ competitors, but also human beings. You know what I mean? And that's just as important. So everybody's hungry. And everyone's got a chip on their shoulder, especially how last season went. There's a lot of narratives and disrespect that goes around, and it's deserving. Yeah. We didn't play well, and it's just those things are things you keep in the back of your mind when you go into an off season and you're preparing to go out there and do it again, because they got to see you again, and you remember all those little scars, and that's what I feel like is a special thing about being here. It's because when we do start winning, it's going to be real special.
Well, dude, I mean, I tell you all the time, right? And we talked about before we started rolling. Like, I think the biggest compliment I can give you, I've told your mom a handful of times when I've run into her, is like, you're the same dude, right? The same guy that walked into Oakland is the same guy here. Just a few more tattoos and a few more chains. But man, huge congratulations, like so sincerely from all of us. Like, we could not be more excited, more fired up that the Condor is not going anywhere. He's going to be here, getting to that Allegiant Stadium, rocking in just a few months' time. So, dude, huge congrats to you and the family. And I know you've got a lot to do, so get out of here, and we'll see you soon, okay?
Thank you, brother. Always an honor.
Yo, man, it was pretty straightforward with being a very Raider-tilted interview. Maxx Crosby said it. He's like, yo, people were talking a lot on the Raiders, and deservingly so, because they weren't winning. But we're going to see them again. I get that. I like that. It's like, yo, man, I'm down right now, but I'm not going to stay down. I stay down until I come up, and the come up is on its way for sure. Maxx Crosby played his cards right. He said, yo, man, I want to make sure that we're on this track to win. It put the pressure on the owners of the Raiders to make sure that we made the right decisions moving forward. Who's going to be the GM? Who's going to be the head coach? who are the coordinators going to be and the coaching staff. What's the best for this team, not only now, but moving forward to get the culture where we need it to be. Not only the culture inside the mentality of the players and the people in the building, but a culture of winning. How do we get to that point? Maxx Crosby was a catalyst to that by putting the pressure on the ownership and the front office to make sure that they made the right decisions, to make sure that not only was Maxx Crosby, but other players around the NFL are confident the Raiders can win, not only now, but moving forward. It's great to hear that Maxx Crosby is locked in. Sometimes you have to take a step back to make sure that you can see everything clearly. It's like you can't see the forest because of the trees kind of thing, right? So when Maxx Crosby's in the fight the whole time and he's pushing and he's fighting and they're not winning, and it just takes an injury to make him step back and take a look at things with some perspective and have a clearer mind, it makes a lot of sense that he would come back even stronger this year, because you know what kind of worker and what kind of dedication that Maxx Crosby has. I'm super pumped about it. I'm excited to have Maxx Crosby here for the next 5 years at least. Then we talk about it then. It's great. I think he's a leader of the team. He's a leader of the defense for sure. And he's a leader of what this culture is going to be on the field moving forward. All right, guys, that's my time. Much appreciated. I really appreciate you guys listening. Go ahead and please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's a great way to support the channel. It's absolutely free, and it's the bare minimum you can do to support this channel and its growth besides doing absolutely nothing. Guys, it's just us, man. It's Raiders versus the world. It's the nation against everybody else, so we got to stick together, all right, man? Until next time, everybody. Peace. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.